Do not ignore the red flags. Hey guys, it's Tarot and Beyond. Welcome back to my channel. Today we are doing another pick a card reading, and we are going to be looking at red flags that you need to pay attention to. So I have learned from experience how detrimental it can be to ignore the red flags, but sometimes we don't know what they are, or sometimes we just don't see them, or we don't put two and two together. So this reading is hopefully going to help you to see those red flags, understand what they are, pay attention to them, and then act accordingly. So we have three groups to choose from as usual today. Group 1 is the first red flag, group 2 second, and group 3 third, and the timestamps are in the description box, or you can use the chapter notes below to jump ahead to your chosen reading or readings if you feel called to more than one. We'll see you there. All right, hello group number 1. Welcome to your Don't Ignore the Red Flags pick a card reading. So the first thing I want to do before we jump into the cards is actually just kind of sit with your energy for a moment and channel some messages. That's what Spirit literally just called me to do right now. I wasn't planning this. So let me just tune in and we'll see what comes through. Okay, so group number 1, this is feeling like it is relationship based. This is not specifically a love reading, but if you have had issues with relationships, whether you're in one now or you were in ones in the past where there were a lot of red flags that were bypassed, this is going to be giving you some clarity around that. So let's get some information. I'm actually going to start with this deck. Spirit, as usual, has guided me to the particular decks that we're going to be using for this reading to get the specific messages. So we have the Three of Cups, which is the Witch card in this particular tarot deck, and it came up in reverse. So I do feel, in a love context, and when we're talking about red flags, the Three of Cups can indicate a third party situation. And if you, my dear, are a witch or wizard, depending on your identification, I feel like you have a very keen sense of intuition. Now, this can be bypassed a lot of the time by the rational mind. We'll feel something, we'll get that sort of like women's intuition, or men have it too, and we just kind of we sidestep it, or we rationalize it, or we talk ourselves out of it, or we allow our partner to talk us out of it. So there's something about that third party situations, i.e. being lied to, cheated on, or two-timed behind your back, something about that. The Magician in reverse as well, which is the Imp. Okay, the first thing I'm noticing is that both of these cards, there's like cauldrons with something boiling in them. They just told me potion. Okay, what does that mean, Spirit? There's something about the potion, i.e. like how you... did I say this was the Magician? It's the Hanged Man. I don't know what... If I said that, I'm going to have to re-watch that in editing, but if I said Magician, this is the Hanged Man. I don't know why my brain saw the Magician. Anyway, if there's something to do with... I'm actually just going to turn these upright so I can see them better, even though I know that they're supposed to be reversed energetically. There's something here about potion, like it's like you're being given a potion that distorts your mind. Maybe it's like a heady love tonic, you know what I mean? It's like a love potion. And even though that's not a literal thing, it's causing you to behave that way. And it's like that potion bypasses the logical mind in that sense that you can kind of feel something's off or something's not quite right, but you can't quite break free from that heady tonic that love's sweet smell or brew has enchanted you with. Okay? Yeah. We have the Four of Swords with the Vampire. Feels like if you experience any feelings of lethargy around a person, especially consistently, you want to make sure that you are taking time to be with yourself, because this person may be an energy vampire. The Seven of Wands with the Mummy. Seven of Wands is like you got to protect yourself here. I was seeing the cat up in the corner of this card, and now, okay, hold on, we've got one more card there. And now we've got the cat here too. There's a black cat. So black cats are trying to tell you that you need protection. Somebody may have a black cat. I just got that message as well. If you have a black cat, this is a confirmation for you. But I'm talking about here, or I'm seeing here, that this energy, this person really kind of pulls the life out of you, and you need to protect yourself energetically. 8 of Cups, and you need to walk away. Yeah, because they're keeping you in like this undead state. They just showed me the Curse of the Black Pearl in the Pirates of the Caribbean. I think that's why the Witch card is here as well, because it's like an energetic curse that they're placing on you. And it's not like they've done any rituals or anything, although they might. Who knows? But there's something about like you doing something, staying in this relationship, or in the past having been in these types of relationships where you felt like you needed this other person, or you could not live without them, or they were your one and only, and yet you constantly felt drained, you constantly felt really attached or insecure, or nothing else would satisfy you. You may have even experienced going into like depressive states and wondering, why am I feeling this way? Why am I so tired? Why am I not thinking clearly? It's because you were kind of like in this love potion delusion type experience where you were being kind of cursed energetically by being in this relationship. And then you were kind of like dead inside, almost like disconnected from yourself, because this person was not right for you, because there were all these red flags of you feeling beholden to them, or feeling like you absolutely needed them to get that rush, or to feel something. That's kind of what it feels like. I'm just going to pull that one off the top. 10 of Wands. Yeah, it's like you were completely weighed down by all of this, but didn't necessarily see it. Okay, now I want to go in with the archetype stack. So what was this for group number 1, and what do they need to pay attention to now? If you feel heavy around a person, if you feel tired or drained around a person consistently, right? Maybe once in a while, that's fine. But if every time you go around them, you leave feeling tired, you leave feeling depressed, you leave feeling cut off from yourself or the world around you, that is a dead giveaway red flag that you need to GTFO and 8 of Cups it out of there, because that is not for you. We have the Fairy, and it came up upside down like that, so that's the shadow side. Careless, distractible, mischievous, manipulative, and indulgent. Okay, if I did say the Hanged Man card as the Magician, I think the reason that slip up, because everything that happens in a reading is intentional through spirit. There's always a reason. The reversed Magician can be about manipulation, and I was feeling that energy, like this person manipulates you in some way, and that's what I'm seeing here with the Fairy reversed. I also see group number 1 that you are probably someone who's very innocent, very gentle. You may be magical yourself as well, but there's something about this person or these people in the past who really took advantage of your loving nature. They may have manipulated through your gentle heart. Yeah, I just heard that. Manipulated through your gentle heart. And that's what, okay, guys, I'm going to use the N word, not the one you're thinking. Narcissists, okay? The narcissists, they will use that as a tactic. They know that you have empathy. They know that you care. They know that they can control you through that. And so they will guilt you. They will manipulate you. They lack boundaries. They will put a lot of burden onto you. They will project onto you. There's a deep sense of entitlement with narcissists, and people who display those types of behaviors compulsively. Like, I'm seeing that they really took advantage of you, and you didn't see it. And they caused you to really want to indulge. Like, they brought out this side of you that you felt, I just keep getting the word beholden, like beholden to them. So that's another red flag. If you feel like you cannot live without this person, that is an issue. Okay? It doesn't matter if you think it's a twin flame or a soulmate. Honey. No. You need to get the fuck out of there, because that is not healthy. If you feel like you can't live without someone, even if they are a soulmate or a twin flame, you should still be able to live without them, because everything is all within you. So if you feel like you're separate from yourself and you can't live without this person, that's a big ass red flag. You have the victim in reverse, so that's the shadow side, playing the victim for positive feedback in the form of pity, inability to maintain personal boundaries. We did see that there with the Seven of Wands, which is about boundaries. So yeah, this person really lacks personal boundaries and may play the victim. Narcissists have a tendency to do that. They will play that victim card even though they're the one victimizing you. However, you need to be aware that this is a red flag pattern too, where you may feel victimized, or you may feel like you're being projected upon as the victimizer. Okay, so these are some issues here. These are red flags to look out for. If you feel like you are being victimized, if you feel like you are being gaslit, if you feel like this person does not respect your personal boundaries, or your boundaries are being let down on your own accord because you want to connect more to this person, because you feel beholden, because you feel attached, but all you get left with is feeling less and less connected to yourself, more and more drained and compulsively addicted to this person, big red flag, huge red flag. Okay. Saboteur highlights your fear of self-empowerment and the changes it would bring to your life. The shadow attribute induces self-destructive behavior or the desire to undermine others. So this is your inner saboteur talking, group number one, and they want you to know that this is part of the pattern of choosing these types of relationships, because your inner saboteur is kind of attached to, directly or indirectly, this victim archetype, this victim identity. Now, I'm not saying that you're doing that intentionally. I'm not saying that you are a victim. Nobody is. We have to choose to be victims. We have to choose to enter into that dynamic. And it can swing really quickly from victim to victimizer as well. Like, hurt people. Victimized people, if they don't deal with that victim archetype, will internalize it and then turn around and perpetuate it. So this can be a self-sabotaging pattern that they're talking about here. And this reading is to help you to see it clearly so that you don't let that happen to you, and so that you choose differently. It's facing this fear of you being in your own power, because I'm seeing a lot of like dependency here or addiction. And the addiction is to the idea of someone over what they're actually showing you or how they actually make you feel. So yeah, it's like any time that you get ahead, if this person sabotages you, that's not a true friend, or that's not a good relationship to be in. That's not a good partner. And if you're doing this to yourself by choosing these types of partners, again, you want to look at that and identify where within you this victim archetype is somehow trying to keep you safe, because that's really all these archetypes are. It's like the subconscious mind trying to keep you safe in a little bit of a distorted and warped way. Yeah. Okay, let's get more information. Patience, the Temperance card. Okay. Foundation and achievements. I feel like there's a need for you to be patient, group number one, around building a happy family or having healthy romantic relationships. I think that there may be a tendency to rush into things and get too attached too quickly. If that is something that you've noticed within yourself, again, this is Spirit's way of letting you know, yes, that is a red flag. If you see that pattern repeating, you know it's time to pull away, pull out, and that's not a self-sabotaging pattern, that's you protecting yourself. The other thing I'm seeing here is that if the person that you are engaged with or connected to is impatient with you and isn't willing to take the time to do things slowly, I also just heard overpromise. If they overpromise and underdeliver, that's also a red flag. It can be more like an orange flag or yellow flag, depending on the person and the situation. There's so much nuance to this. But if someone consistently promises something and then never delivers and doesn't show any remorse, or they guilt you about the fact that they don't end up delivering, or they manipulate you in some way or gaslight you, oh yeah, big, huge red flag. Okay. Transformation. This is the Death card. Yeah, we got a lot of death energy here, like with the skeleton, the mummy, and the vampire. It's like the undead. You know, this person is kind of like the undead. And when we're talking about souls who operate at that narcissistic level, not all of the time, but sometimes those can be undead type of souls. Like they are not operating from the soul, they are operating from a distorted, programmed ego, or a very volatile soul blueprint. They could even be negatively oriented souls, right? So that's not always the case, but it certainly can be. It's more likely. So these people are not technically able to retrieve or connect to source in the way that they can feel connected to themselves. And so they actually become beholden to other people. They're actually addicted to other people because they can't sustain their own life force energy because they're the living undead. And so they are trapped in a cycle of connecting to people and either emotionally manipulating or physically draining or draining the bank accounts of other people because they don't have the capacity to connect to themselves and to the all creator within them on their own. They cannot do that. And you can't help them do that. Okay, that's another big thing, especially if you're like a gentle-hearted person who wants to be helpful. You cannot help them do that. And to try to do that will only hurt you and it will not help them. So it's a lose-lose situation. You don't want to do that. Trust me, I've tried. I've tried and failed way too many times to let you guys make that same mistake. It's not worth it. Bottom of the deck, we have Harmony, which is the Lover's card. So this is definitely about relationships. That's exactly what I was getting. I knew it. And then we also have the Eight of Cups again. So twice. With emotional withdrawal. So it's like this person knows that you want connection with them. They know that they have you as soon as they get you to love them, basically. Like as soon as you love them, they know they've got you. They've trapped you. You've entered into the cage and you're stuck. And that's when any veil of harmony drops away. Any veil of a solid foundation with healthy boundaries and mutual connection, all of that illusion, that spell that was cast through the love charm melts away, and now all you see is this person who is manipulative, who sabotages things, who plays the victim role but actually victimizes you, who's impatient, who is lacking in emotional maturity and boundaries. You know, this is the type of thing I'm seeing here. And so I think in this case, it's like you've got to see that, you've got to notice those red flags and get yourself out. The Eight of Cups is about walking away, right? So you've got to walk away from these types of relationships. If you're finding yourself attracting these types of people, you got to ask yourself, what archetype am I embodying that is allowing these types of people to enter into my energy field? Why am I creating this? Why am I attracting this? What am I doing, right? Take responsibility, because that's the opposite of the victim. That's the opposite of the victim. Even if you're feeling victimized by these people, if you take responsibility for your part of it, you can't take responsibility for theirs. Please don't do that, right? Ten of Wands. You do not want to take on responsibility that is not within your control, because that does nobody a service. But when you take responsibility for what you can control, which is only ever you and your choices, your beliefs, and your actions, then you can get free. Two of Swords. There's something here that it's been really hard for you to see, group number one. And the red flag here is really about you giving up your sovereignty and being manipulated so that you become indecisive and don't trust your intuition. That is a tactic, okay? That is an actual battle tactic that narcissists and energy vampires and things like that will use. They know that about you. They know that if they can veil things, if they can distort reality just enough to get you to doubt what you feel by presenting you with a false reality that doesn't match what you're intuitively getting, they know that they can control you. And that's what they do. It's gaslighting. They will train you and program you and condition you to believe that your intuition is wrong. But it's not. The Three of Cups was the first card out. It's like, if you feel like something is off, something is off. especially if you've dealt with your own inner victim and saboteur, and you've done some of that more shadow, subconscious emotional healing work, and you've understood that not necessarily every time there's fear, there's something to fear, right? If you've dealt with your own traumas and this pattern keeps coming up, there's something about it that you need to shift within yourself, but also that you need to like not believe. The star. Yeah, this is healing. I keep seeing like 1, 2, 3 rainbows in your reading. Rainbows remind me of the rainbow body, like the chakra system. So you might want to look at your root chakra, your sacral chakra as well, because this is a lot of the time where they'll distort things. Also the third eye and crown. So the root and the sacral are connected to the physical attraction and the sexual chemistry and your ability to feel safe in your body. Again, that's another red flag. If you don't feel safe in your body, if your shoulders tense up, if your gut clenches, if your body physically shrinks and gets smaller, like in your posture, these are red flags as well. The third eye and crown are to do with you receiving your intuitive knowing from your soul, from higher self, from source. So they will intentionally try to warp those areas and distort them. They're just showing me like mirrors. They're showing me mirrors being placed into the crown chakra to deflect. Yeah, it's like deflecting that energy from coming in so that you can't see something clearly. Oh, that's interesting. Oh yeah, that's literally what this is. There's like prisms, like mirrors. Okay, yeah. I wasn't even looking down at the card. I was looking into my mind. Okay. The Hermit. I feel like you need to spend some time with yourself, group number 1. The Lovers, again, same card. Okay, so if you feel like you need to be in a relationship, that's a red flag. If you feel like you need to sacrifice your needs and your boundaries in a relationship to make it work, that's a red flag. And by the way, red flags do not mean slow down and proceed cautiously. Red flags mean turn and run. Do not hesitate. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. Go straight to jail. But in this case, get the heck out of jail, because this person is your jailer. They are an abuser. These types of people, I should say. If you're not with anyone right now, it's like these types of people. I just heard, ask yourself where you learned this. That's what I just heard from Spirit. So group 1, ask yourself, where did you learn this pattern? Where did you see it? Where did you learn that this type of behavior was okay? Because you didn't just come into this world thinking that these types of relationships were okay. You were taught that. You saw that modeled to you, most likely. Or you entered into these types of relationships and then that pattern just kept repeating. They just showed me the broom. You got to clean this. You got to clean out your relationship patterns within your soul blueprint. They just said you may have repeating negative soulmate contracts come up as a theme, like really dysfunctional, codependent, abusive, narcissistic. It doesn't always have to mean physical abuse. Like a lot of this is psychological. A lot of this is energetic. They pull on your energy. They extract energy from you. They drain you. It can affect your mental health, your physical health. And it's like all under this veil of it's a relationship that you want to be in, and they kind of like they lure you in, but really it's like they're the fisherman or woman who wants to eat you. It's like, don't go after that shiny lure, because it might look real pretty, but my God, it's gonna hurt, and you're gonna regret it. So group number 1, this is a pretty intense message, but I mean, what else am I gonna expect with a red flags reading? Spirit called me to sit down and do this, so this is information that you needed to hear. And so really pay attention to how you feel. Connect to your body. Spend some time alone. When you get clear in your own energy and being able to connect to yourself and having patience with this relationship you're building with you, you're going to be way more protected and less susceptible to any sabotage, either from yourself or from other people being projected onto you. And then you won't feel quite so much like a victim, and you'll be able to get back into your innocent energy where people are not taking advantage of you because of your kindness, because of your loving ethereal nature. So you can actually become more empowered in your ability, your sovereignty. I was seeing that here with the crown. They were showing me sovereignty, like the crown being on the ground. So she's not in her sovereign state. She's feeling indecisive, not trusting her intuition to make a decision because she's being gaslit, manipulated, victimized, sabotaged, etc., drained. So you got to pick up your crown, put it back on, and then you will see clearly again. And that's quite literally related to the crown chakra. Removing those mirrors out of the crown chakra. For some of you who do energy work, I would recommend scan your crown chakra and look for those mirrors and just remove them. You can do this on your own. I just got the intuitive nudge that you know how to do this and you just needed the information. So go ahead and do that. Even if you're not well versed in energy work, you can also do this because you are the sovereign controller and creator of your reality, and you are in control of your soul blueprint. You are in control of your energy body. You are in control of your life, group number 1. So as you will it, so it shall be. Sometimes all we need is the awareness to be able to go in and change this pattern. So yeah, if you feel drained, if you feel heavy, if you feel like dead inside around a person, or when you're not with them and then when you are with them, everything comes back to life again, but then after you feel really dead inside again, big red flag, huge red flag. You should feel good on your own and then even better with a person, and healthy connections have healthy boundaries and don't make you doubt yourself. Okay, so I do see a very strong potential here for healthy, happy relationships in the future, very stable relationships where there's healthy boundaries, mutual support, independence rather than codependence, and I should say interdependence rather than codependence. And that brings a lot of harmony into your life. But if you have not achieved that thus far, the reason being is because there's still some inner sabotage and victim patterns to really explore and understand, so that you don't fall prey or victim to these distortions, illusions, manipulations, etc., programs and conditions, all of these different things. So I hope that this reading was helpful in you being able to identify some of these patterns for yourself and practice not engaging with people who display these types of patterns, no matter how well they present themselves, no matter what they say. If you feel something is off, have the self-discipline to walk away. Build this trust with yourself, empower yourself. Then you will really start to attract the most ideal aligned relationships for you. Okay, so that is what I have for you, group number 1. Sending you so many blessings and protections to engage in the healthiest possible relationships for your greatest and highest good. And so it is. I love you guys so much. Thank you for being here. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Stick around for more readings. If you want to become a member, you can also get ad-free pick a card readings that we deep dive into spiritual topics, as well as monthly live streams where members get personal readings from me. And if you guys are wanting to learn to read tarot for yourself or enhance your intuition and be able to have awareness of what's going on at the soul level and do something about it and work more directly with spirit, I can teach you how to do that. I have courses and classes available through my website, which is linked in the description box below. January, we have Tarot 201 coming up, so we're going to be diving into how to do readings, combining card meanings, and also doing reversals. We also will have the Unlocking the Magic Within course beginning in February, which is going to be a deep dive 6-month course into intuitive development, spiritual empowerment, and psychic ability expansion. So if you guys are interested in those, hit those links in the description box and sign up today. I love you guys, and we'll see you in the next reading. Bye. All right, hi, red flag number 2, group number 2, welcome to your reading. Let's start out by me just tuning in psychically. I want to get some initial channeled information on what this red flag situation might be. Group number 1's was very relationship based. I'm curious to see what yours is going to be, so just give me one sec. Okay, so group number 2, yours is a little different. I saw somebody riding a horse and then falling off and getting hurt. That could be really, I was going to say something else, but that could be related to kind of like if you fall off the horse, get back up and get back on type of thing. But there could be something about also past lives, because that's what I was getting. It felt like a past life where maybe there was a type of failure, or you tried something and it didn't work, or you got hurt. And it could be something that has repeated, because that's what stuff that happens that's unresolved in past lives tends to do, because we didn't necessarily understand why it happened or what we did to create it. So it repeats until we get it. So let's get some information about this situation. Like that person falling off the horse, they got hurt. What is this? I feel that card and that card. And that one as well. Okay. So 7 of Wands. These 3 cards all came up in group 1. I didn't necessarily shuffle the deck, so that's probably on me. But I think that everything happens in readings for a reason, so we'll get the message either way. 10 of Wands, the dragon. So 7 of Wands, the mummy. 10 of Wands, the dragon. 4 of Swords, the vampire. Okay. Yeah, I'm still getting past life. Okay. And then we have the Hanged Man with the imp. Yeah, that was another one. 3 of Cups, the witch. Yeah, these all came up in their reading, except for this one. 8 of Swords, Pegasus. The horse. I knew the horse was going to come out, because that's what they were showing me. So there's something about getting back on the horse, but being afraid to do so. That's what I'm seeing here for you, group number 2. The 8 of Swords is like you're kind of trapped in your own fear. You're not seeing a way out of the situation. You're stuck in a mental trap. And this mental trap is fear-based. It is something that happened in the past life where you tried something, it failed, you got hurt. It doesn't have to be literally going on that horse and falling off. That could be a metaphor. But either way, it left you with like a heavy burden that you've been carrying around all this time, feeling like you couldn't move on from this past life pattern and not really kind of knowing how. So hopefully we're going to find out how to do that, but also what red flags are kind of there to let you know that this is going on. I think one of the red flags that I'm seeing already is if you are afraid to take action, if you are afraid to try something again because you're afraid that you're going to fail or you're going to get hurt, that is a red flag. Oh, I feel those 3. Okay. The rescuer. I just saw Rescuers Down Under in my mind. There could be something in that movie. Anyways, it says, light attributes provides strength and support to others in crisis, acts out of love with no expectation of reward. The shadow attribute assumes that the rescued will reciprocate, keeps the rescued one needy. Okay, so this is kind of like a savior archetype in the dysfunctional sense. We have the visionary. Light attribute, capacity to envision what is not yet conceivable to others, willingness to proclaim a vision without regard for personal gain. The shadow attribute is selling insights to the highest bidder, compromising your vision to make it more acceptable. Okay. And the exorcist. Ooh, wow, okay. Light attribute, freeing yourself and others of destructive impulsives, and the shadow attribute, fear of facing your own demons. I think that this is what I'm seeing here. It's like facing your own demons. It's like you kind of got to go up against this dragon in your mind, but there has been a real hesitancy to do so. There has been resistance to seeing this and accepting this within yourself, because there has been fear of like touching that hot stove in the back of the mind, you know? It's like, you know, it's going to hurt. So you're just like, okay, I'll put it off for later. You may even have a pattern of rescuing other people to avoid dealing with your own stuff. Group number 2. That's very common, by the way. It's not anything to be ashamed of. It's your way of trying to unconsciously protect yourself. But I'm seeing that here. So that's another red flag to pay attention to. If you notice that like you're not facing your fears, or you're not dealing with those resistance areas within yourself, and you keep kind of seeing other things in other people, or even those patterns in other people, and trying to help them, it's like this is a red flag letting you know, hey, it's actually within you, and if you deal with it there, it's going to be a lot easier for you to take action in an aligned way. But there's something here that needs to be exercised, not exercised as in like going to the gym, exorcised as in cast out. So yeah, with the light. So the light is consciousness, right? And the visionary here gives you a clear vision if it's used constructively. So there's a potential here for you to see something and cast it out, to be able to deal with it once and for all. But there is a dysfunctional pattern here around not seeing your own blind spot. That's what I'm seeing. The Eight of Swords is like you're not seeing your own blind spot, and that's made it a lot harder for you. Intuition, yeah, this High Priestess. So you definitely have a visionary High Priestess soul construct. Your blueprint, your soul essence is very, very magical. It's falling right underneath the Witch card. Yeah, so the intuition, the witch, the visionary, like you're very psychic, group number 2. But there's something about this pattern that has made it very hard for you to see. I think it's because there's this, it's like there's this distortion in seeing that. Well, I don't know why though. Oh, I just heard don't want to appear needy. Okay, so let's say, for example, on the bottom of the deck, we have obstacles and challenges. That's the Five of Pentacles. So let's say, for example, you, in this past life, got hurt doing something. You may not have wanted to be rescued because you didn't want to seem needy. And so, as a result, there's something about, like, getting trapped in this pattern of, yeah, I just keep getting this energy of being trapped. I don't know, being confined. Look at the mummy in the sarcophagus, the vampire in the coffin. It reminds me of being confined in something. You're being kept in this little box, which is what the Eight of Swords kind of talks about as well. It's like being trapped in the mind. But it's like a construct that you've created. I'm not sure. I'm still not sure. Okay, heartache and loss. It's the Three of Swords. Interesting that I never noticed in this card, the way that they've done the background makes it look like she has stone wings. So something very heavy has been weighing on your soul and turned your wings to stone. Patience and planning. Pillars. The pillars came up in a previous reading I did this week. An activation code about pillars. If you watched that reading, this could be confirmation for you. Patience and planning. Okay. Let me just move some stuff around here while I kind of think about what this means for you, group number 2. It's almost like you haven't been able to see a way out of a situation because you felt trapped in your own mind. It's like usually you're the visionary who can really see a way out of a situation, or you can get really creative. And I think you rescue other people a lot. You're very powerful spiritual mystic, group number 2, and you do exorcise other people's demons and help to relieve their burdens. But it's just like there's something here that's in your blind spot, and it's been really hard for you to see it. It's been really hard for you to get a handle on it because it's kind of been like boxed off in the back of your mind. Now, what is this? What is this? And what is the red flag around it? Nine of Wands, the Wounded Warrior. So yeah, it's definitely things that you have experienced in the past that were painful, things that failed, things that hurt you. It's like the Wounded Warrior archetype. It's like Chiron, the Wounded Warrior, or the Wounded Healer, I should say. Wounded Healer. Yeah, either way. It's like you go around healing other people, but you can't heal yourself. The Star card, you need to heal yourself. You need to heal yourself, group number 2. So the red flag here is if you are helping other people, but there's something here within yourself that you're not seeing. They just show me the crystal ball in this card and the crystal ball in this card. Yeah, there's something that you're not seeing. It could be to do with a shamanic lifetime. Could be to do with, we've got a King of Wands. Yeah, you got to look in the mirror. Look, he's looking in the mirror. You got to look in the mirror because the mirror is going to show you this pattern. you can't see it when you're just standing in the middle of nowhere, because it's like you can't see what's on your own face when you're standing with no mirror, right? So you got to look in the mirror to see that blind spot. So the red flag is if you keep helping other people to heal a particular pattern, but you're not realizing that that pattern exists within you, that's the red flag. And it could have to do with your energy. They just gave me that message as well, like not having clear energetic boundaries and constantly kind of feeling like you're stuck, you're unable to move forward, or you don't have the energy or motivation to do something. It's like you fall off the horse and then you're just down for the count and you can't get back on. Something about that could be a red flag as well. And again, they keep bringing me back to the mirror. So it's important that you use your intuition to look in the mirror to see yourself clearly and to help yourself. It's like you've got to rescue yourself here. Rescuing yourself. But there's something in this that hasn't wanted to be seen. I actually feel this card and this one. 5 of Cups. Grief of the past is definitely an issue here. There needs to be some grieving done. And that's, I think, why this pain has been avoided. 9 of Coins. There's 2 helmets and a crown in this card, and it feels like this is to do with the crown chakra. I think this is related to group 1 as well. So if you felt called to that reading, because a lot of these cards came out from group 1, this one did as well. That was in their reading too. And they're talking about mirrors here, and and they just showed me the helmets and the crown, which is related to the crown chakra, the top of the head. They just showed me the horns on these stag as well. So that's to do with the crown chakra. So it's something to do with the crown and mirrors, and that did come up in group 1. They just reminded me of that. So this is related. 3 of Coins. I heard the word injustice. Ace of Cups. Yeah, there's a need to heal yourself here. I think this is the injustice, is that you've kind of been putting yourself on the back burner. That's a big red flag, 8 of Wands. And it has felt like things were chaotic and out of your control because you were focusing on other people. Knight of Wands, this guy on the horse, the rider on the horse. So they just drew my attention to, there's a volcano in the background of this card, and there's volcanoes here in this one as well. Volcanoes could be a significant synchronicity or symbol that you see to let you know, or mirrors and volcanoes. Those are the 2 that I'm seeing. Pillars were also mentioned. So these are kind of like activation codes. When we see synchronicities like that, they can have literal meaning, but they can also represent certain things at soul level. They're like, they unlock certain programming for us to explore, and they can also act as breadcrumbs or puzzle pieces so that we can start to see the bigger picture here that's been carried over from a past life. So there's something about volcanoes and the Ace of Coins. I like that you have the Ace of Cups, the Ace of Coins. You also have that 9 of Coins energy. So I think there's a really good potential here for you to feel very stable, secure, and abundant when you care for yourself. But I think that the neglect of the self is probably one of the biggest red flags that I'm seeing here. Low energy, low resources, low finances, and then going into desperation perhaps, needing to be rescued or to rescue others in that same way. Oh yeah, we did have the 5 of Pentacles, which is like these obstacles and challenges to do with finances and moving forward, not feeling free, feeling stuck in the box. Okay, so this could have to do with financial constraints, which I think goes part and parcel with the energetic constraints, because money is just a representation of vital force energy. So if your vital force energy in the soul or body is low, it's going to be reflective in the physical finances. Underneath that, we also have the Partnerships and Alliances card, which is talking like the 3 of Coins energy as well. So there's something about being able to get the support you need, rescuing others or people rescuing you. But I was getting something in this pattern. you need to free yourself from it, because I saw 1555 on the recording time, and fives are about freedom, and it's like facing these challenges to free yourself from them. So there is definitely an aspect here of facing your demons, going up against that dragon within you, and being able to come out stronger and more free. They showed me the dragon in Gringotts in the Deathly Hallows Harry Potter book. So there's something about like being out down in the dungeon and then getting to free. It's like you can actually use that dragon to ride to freedom. And again, this is like riding on the back of a beast. First it was a horse, now it's a dragon. So it's like controlling your animal nature. And instead choosing the divine. Choosing the divine. Now, the animal nature doesn't mean necessarily what we assume it means. It can mean fear. It can mean lust. It can mean passion or obsession. It can mean, what else? Cravings, addictions. Really anything that the human aspect of us, or the ego or the body, really feels like it absolutely needs. And there's nuance to that. So sometimes that's not a bad thing in and of itself, but it's like if it takes over you and you feel disempowered by it and you feel like you can't control the direction that you're going, what you're doing, who or how you're helping, or even can't control yourself. And then you keep falling off and you keep getting hurt, or you keep making these same mistakes and then feeling trapped in a cycle or a box of these same patterns repeating. It's because it's like you need to learn to master yourself. And the red flags here are showing you how to do that. Really, they're like warning signs of, hey, this is an issue. You're not actually trapped in this box. You are in control of the situation. You can rescue yourself by seeing things more clearly. But there's something painful in that doesn't feel comfortable or safe to look at. That's the inner demons that need to be faced. It's actually pain. It's not even fear, it's pain, it's grief. So if you can have the strength and put on your armor and face that pain head on. It's like pulling out the poisoned arrow. That's the exorcism. Like Chiron, the story of Chiron is that he's a centaur who was the most skilled in the healing arts. He could heal anyone of anything. He was very magical. But then he got hit with a poison arrow that was cursed, and he could not heal himself. But he was still able to continue healing other people, even though he could not heal himself. And it caused him great pain, even though he was immortal and couldn't die. So I feel like you're removing the arrow, group number 2, and these red flags of you feeling trapped, you rescuing other people but not being able to save yourself, feeling scared of the past or wounded, not wanting to look into your past or exercise those inner demons or master that self-control through healthy grieving. Something to do with finances could be involved in this as well. These are all red flags letting you know that this pattern is here and it needs your attention. And if you can have the strength to be able to do that and know that you're protected through this process, and you will come out the other side, and you will be a lot more clear in who you are and what you're capable of and what you're actually here to do, you will see that this was all for a reason. It was all for a reason. There's a purpose to this. There's a plan. Your soul had a plan. Your soul has a plan. And it's kind of like you just got to get back up on that horse again and master yourself. That's what I just heard. Master yourself by caring for yourself. Looking in the mirror. All right, so group number 2, the red flags you want to watch out for are trying to save everyone else but not looking at yourself in the mirror. Feeling trapped inside a box and unable to move, feeling constricted in life, or feeling stuck, stagnant, or immobile. Those are red flags. Feeling, noticing if you have thoughts that are like, I can't do this, or this isn't possible, or I don't have enough. Those are all red flags as well. If you are not seeing yourself clearly, if you are looking in the mirror and seeing that you're not very powerful, or that you don't have what you need, or that you're not this or that, those are also red flags. if you've made a mistake in the past and it feels very volatile, because that's the volcano, and the volatile, it's like it's been repressed and it needs to erupt, that's also a red flag. If it feels like there's something simmering under the surface, there is. And it's letting you know, right? It's like the volcano starts to smoke. That's a red flag that it's going to erupt. But that eruption kind of needs to happen to release the pressure so that you can break free from this box that you've been living in from these several lifetimes that this pattern has been going on for. And then you can align your soul back to its original template, which has no constriction, lack, or woundedness in it. Your archetype here to explore is the mystic, the shaman, the healer, the seer, because that's what you are. But there's like a distorted aspect of it that was kind of keeping you in a program. I want to say program very specifically, using that word for a reason, because it was like a distorted program that kept you in this matrix of thought and this wounded energy and this wounded belief, and then not seeing it. So you're ready to break free from this, group number 2, and you will. Just notice those red flags when they come up and choose to feel. That's what Spirit just said. Choose to feel, because if you have been avoiding feeling, this is what's going to help you heal it. Water, what does this say? Water my blood to keep silent. It could be something in the bloodline. And this one says, earth my body to know. Yeah, so get grounded and feel. That's what I'm seeing. And you're going to feel very clearly what's going on here. And you're going to see yourself more clearly. And you will free yourself from this pattern. And these red flags will no longer need to be there to warn you about what's going on underneath the surface within you. Okay? So you can break free from this karmic pattern. You have the most magical, amazing healing powers, group number 2. So trust yourself with that. All right, I see you facing your demons and overcoming them. You can do it. All right, guys, that is what I see for you, group number 2. I hope this reading was helpful. Spirit called me to sit down and do this red flag reading for a reason. So if you were called here and these messages were for you, then you are ready to break free and you're doing it. And they want to congratulate you on that. And they're supporting you in that as well. All right. And if you guys need any additional support, we do have members, a members side of the channel where you guys can get ad-free pick a card readings, but also monthly live streams where I do provide readings both with cards and also psychically. I'm also an energy healer, so if you guys need anything like that, that's really the only place to connect with me anymore, as I've taken personal readings off the table once again. But I do also offer courses. So we've got Tarot 201 happening in January 2024, and then we have the Unlocking the Magic Within course in February as well. So these are here to help you to develop your intuition, enhance your psychic abilities, reconnect with your soul. We're going to be doing some work in shadow work as well, which is really reconnecting these darker parts of the self and being able to become whole again so that you're not so disempowered in that state. Doing psychological past life healing. We're going to be talking about all of these types of things in Unlocking the Magic Within and enhancing your psychic ability so you can heal. So if you guys are interested, check that out. The link is in the description box below. Sign up starts January 14th, I believe, and I'll be sending out an email to let you guys know when that is available. But if it's past that date already, go ahead and get your spot. I love you guys. Thank you so much for being here, and we'll see you in the next reading. Bye. All right, hi group number 3, welcome to your red flag reading. So the first thing I want to do before we get cards is actually just to tune in psychically and see kind of what is coming up for you in regard to these red flags, and then we'll see what the cards have to say in addition to that. So give me one sec. Okay, so what they actually told me was there's a red flag around disease and disgust. I don't know what that means yet, so we're going to get some cards. What is this for group number 3, please, Spirit? What is this? With the Knight of Swords, the Barbarian reversed. I'm just going to put it upright so I can see the cards themselves in the imagery. 4 of Cups reversed with the Ghoul. Okay. Yeah, something about like barbaric and like death and then disgust, like disease and disgust. I'm almost getting like the plague from When was that? I don't know. In history, like the Black Plague, the moon, werewolf, Knight of Pentacles, the warrior. Yeah, barbarian, warrior. There's something about like battles, wars. Three of Pentacles, the dwarf. The Tower, the gargoyle. And the Death card. Yeah, there's something about death, battles. They're showing me battlefields. Yeah, like death and battlefields, like people's rotting body. Oh my God, what the heck is this? This is definitely past life, group number 3. There's no way this is, unless you're in the military and you've actually been in active duty, there's no way that this is from present life. I mean, I could be wrong, but this feels Middle Ages, because that's what I was getting from like the Black Plague, but I'm also seeing that with barbarians, warrior. It's like very Middle Ages. So your soul may have incarnated into that timeline and experienced a lot of death and decay, both through diseases, plagues, things like that. They just said mortal suffering. Mortal suffering. Something connected to like the body, the deterioration of the body, death and disease. What is going on here? Let's get some archetype cards on the table. Maybe that'll help me get an idea of what this red flag is. But I think that the red flag is going to show up if you have a fear of like death, or you have a fear of sickness or illness, if you have phobias of disgust, like really pronounced fear or disgust around certain certain physical things. Okay, I see that one, that one. That's good. They said 3. Okay. The Teacher came up reversed, so this is shadow, but I'm going to read both. So it says the ability to communicate knowledge, experience, skill, or wisdom, and the shadow attribute is manipulating or abusing students, teaching negative traits, and destructive skills. Now what I'm actually seeing here is like the world broken in half. I heard world war. Okay, and I'm seeing these math equations in the background there, and they were showing me coding. I just heard blueprinters as well, so this could be something that a blueprinter is dealing with. If you are a blueprinter, if you guys know what that means, you know what it means. I know that there's several members on the member side of the channel who are blueprinters, and they watch all these readings. So this is, I think for you, this is like a human collective thing around war, death, disease. Okay. The Poet, light attribute, expresses soul insights in symbolic language, and the shadow attribute turns a lyrical gift to negative or destructive effect. Yeah, something about like negative, destructive, the destructive sides of humanity, the destructive nature of death and decay. The Hermit seeks solitude to focus intently on inner life, serves personal creativity. Again, we have creativity coming up as well. Withdraws from society out of fear or negative judgments of others, refusing to help those in need. Okay. This feels like a big one to unpack, group number 3. Got the light here. I feel like this has come up in every... No, maybe not. I think it came up in group 1 for sure. Okay. So for group number 3... Spiritual union. It's the 2 of Cups card. What is this? Obstacles and challenges. 5 of Pentacles. And the Death card again. You've got the Death card twice sitting right. You know, I was going to put it here, and it fell right underneath the Death card. So this clearly has something to do with financial and material changes. This could be the 5 of Pentacles, actually. I've always seen this one as the 5 of Pentacles. This one's the 5 of Swords. Oh, okay, sorry. Anyway, so there's something about like physical changes, physical material changes, obstacles and challenges, things falling apart, society falling apart, people being disconnected from each other, warring, fighting, death, disease. It's like these systems that should be harmonious breaking down, and people really entering into their beast-like nature with the werewolf there. It's like they lose all control of their humanity and they become these savage creatures, barbarians. These ghouls kind of like take over and they start warring. And then there's dysfunction and disease and destruction. And there may be a pattern, a red flag pattern for you. Group number 3 is hiding away from it all and not wanting to face it. It's like, if I just don't look at it, then it's not there. If I don't watch the news, then I don't have to see it. And maybe even avoiding speaking your truth about these matters, or trying to change the situation through your art, through your wisdom, through your light, through connecting with people. It's like there's a resistance to kind of facing these darker parts of humanity and the collective consciousness. But it's part of your duty, is what I just heard. It's part of your duty, group number 3. Now, you always have free will, okay? So take that with a grain of salt. Nothing outside of you controls you, but there's something about this that your soul signed up to help to create peace, is what they just said, to help to create peace. And peace within creates peace in the collective. Especially if you're a blueprinter soul, then you have a direct connection to the collective consciousness, and you're here to help alleviate some of the collective human karma. And there's certain things that need to be laid to rest. There's certain patterns that need to not repeat, like world wars, they just told me the pandemic may have been very triggering for you, because, and it may have really, you may have like locked yourself inside and hid away from the world because there was something being triggered there. That was a red flag around, they gave me the phrase bubonic plague again. So it was like, it felt, it's almost like your soul has PTSD from being in these lifetimes. And those were triggers. Like the things that are happening now in the world are triggers and big red flags. And it's kind of like your soul is going, oh no, not again, not again. I can't experience this again. Makes sense, right? Like, of course there's going to be fear. Of course there's going to be resistance to going through these physically traumatic experiences, whether you were witnessing them or you were involved in them or you got killed by them. But you're still here, okay? So that's something, right? Like, your soul cannot be destroyed. Your soul cannot die. It just changes vessels. It just moves from place to place. But that trauma is still there. And that's why I think it's important that this is healed through spiritual union within. Yeah. Let's get some more information for you, group 3. Okay. I feel that card on top too. What is this? The Empress. I just heard reconnecting to the sensual nature of reality, reconnecting to the positive sides of humanity, the creation aspect, rather than the destruction aspect. Because yes, there is chaos and there is destruction and there is death and there is disease and there is things like that. But there's also creation and there's beauty and there's art and there's creativity and there's healing and there's pleasure and there's beautiful things. So it's like choosing what you look at and allowing that to help you heal. Maybe like, okay, they're giving me the reference of like, for example, let's say that there was a veteran who had PTSD from his or her experiences in war. They could use art therapy to heal, right? They could use painting or poetry or something to cathartically release that trauma and that pain, and to work through that by creating something beautiful, or to engage with art, because that beauty heals and nourishes the soul, is what Spirit just said. Beauty heals and nourishes the soul, and your soul has been hurt by the pain and the suffering that humans are capable of. 7 of Wands. It's like you can protect yourself. Rather than hiding away, you can protect yourself by connecting to the beautiful things. Roses. I'm seeing roses in both of these cards. Roses could be a synchronicity. That could be a symbol that lets you know that it's like a red flag, but instead of it being a flag, it's like a red rose. The red rose lets you know that where blood was once spilled, beauty can grow once again. That's what they just said. That's beautiful. And they were showing me roses growing on a battlefield. It's like, in Canada, we have the poppies, Flanders Fields. It's literally, I think that was World War One, and it was the cessation of World War One, and they signed the peace treaty on 11/11, and then the fields of all of the graves of all of the fallen soldiers, the poppies started growing on them. So it's like peace and beauty that comes from that can grow despite death, or it's like part of the pattern. Okay, we have Queen of Swords. That's teacher energy again. I just heard malevolent teacher. What is this? Oh, this pattern has been a malevolent teacher. Oh. Actually, I feel this card. Four of Swords. Yeah, okay. Yeah, they just keep giving me death and destruction, war, peace, war and peace. War is a destructive teacher. That's what they just said. Okay. King of Swords. King and Queen of Swords. So, Group 3. This is quite a complex reading. But this is part of what your soul has challenged itself to look at and to overcome. It's like, can you see the darkest parts of this reality, the darkest parts of humanity, and can you still choose beauty? Can you keep your heart open? Can you choose to see the beauty in the darkness? Because it's there. It's two sides of the same coin. I did just get the word anarchy, anarchists. Yeah, this is like violence, anarchism, wars. Guys, I feel a little bit overwhelmed right now. I got to tell you that it just, this feels like a lot. And if these have been triggers for you, there's a very clear reason why. It's like, this is not random that you feel this way, or that these things trigger you, or that there is resistance there, or that these red flags are coming up. Your soul's on a mission. Group 3, your soul's on a mission to, like, put the world back together. But first you kind of got to put yourself back together, I think. The two sides of the self, the two halves of the whole, that's what they just show, because the world was split in two in that card, and then you've got the king and the queen, which are like counterparts, and then you have the two of cups as well. So it's like the two halves of the whole need to come back together. The unity will stop the separation of and the destruction that results from that. It's like the gap, the separation, right? You need to reunify. Reunification is going to help to stop the destruction. And this is an inside job. It's like you had to do this from the inside. You had to incarnate into these timelines, into these particular experiences, to be able to really understand why humanity struggles in this way. It's like you had to see it from a human perspective, but that was traumatizing. Of course it was. But you can heal. You are the divine healer, group number 3, whether you're a blueprinter or not. Doesn't matter. You're a divine healer, and you're working with this very, very big, overarching collective karmic theme to help to heal the world. And what you do within yourself does have a positive impact. It's a ripple effect onto the world, and it's like you're working with the energy of death to understand the fragility of human nature, and also the infiniteness and immortality of the soul. Wow. This is profound. This is a very profound reading, and I was not expecting this from a red flag reading, but here we are. I never know what to expect, and I feel like I say that a lot in readings, but yeah, it is what it is. So I feel like you're going to be facing these fears within yourself, facing those fears so that you can master that human destructive nature within the self and choose to feed and grow the healing nature within the self. And that is what creates the connection. That's what creates inner communion. And then that inner communion creates outer communion. They showed me the two wolves, like the old parable of the two wolves. It's like there's two wolves within you. One is fear and one is love. Which one wins? And they're always battling. And which one wins is the one you feed. So I feel like it's like dealing with this aspect of human nature and choosing to feed the love, the beauty, the art, the connection, the love. Yeah, did I say love? I'll say it again. Love. I'll say it like 5 times. Love, love, love. Because that's what unifies. That's what brings together. Now, you may need some rest right now to do some healing. Group number 3. I think one of the red flags is that you've kind of maybe had a hard time connecting with other people. The Hermit, the Two of Cups. Like you may have had a hard time feeling safe around people because that pattern was there in the background of like, these humans, they're barbaric. yeah, humans can be barbaric, that's for sure. But it's coming from a disconnected place. It's coming from pain. It's coming from suffering, and then it creates more suffering. So to stop that pattern, souls have incarnated here to deal with that template within the self and shift it in the collective. Because what we do within ourselves, it unlocks that coding in the collective. And it helps to transform this pain into healing, back into the unified self. They just said do the math. Yeah, do the math, group number 3. So anytime you see these red flags coming up within yourself, maybe it's your own nature coming out, or these fears and these traumas that are triggering you, that you're seeing them reflect back in the world around you, from society at large. Maybe it's showing up in relationships, or all of the above. Take the time to meditate. 4 of Swords is going to help you. So meditate, contemplate, allow yourself to think about this and do the math. It's like an equation that needs to be worked out. And trusting yourself to be able to do this, because there may have been malevolent teachers. No, they said, yeah, death and suffering was a malevolent teacher, but it's not the truth. It's not the whole truth. That's only one side of the story. So I think it's time for you to explore the other side of the story. Expose yourself to the love teachers. It's like deprogramming this trauma from the mind layer of the soul, the mental body of the soul, and the pain body as well, the emotional body. Yeah. So this is some deep psychological healing, soul level, soul blueprint healing, group number 3. So the red flags to pay attention to are if you are being triggered by the pain and suffering in the world, if you are being triggered to retreat and pull back and not allowing yourself to connect, not allowing yourself to engage with the world, or if you find yourself seeing more repeating negative stuff and that really kind of causing you to shut down or feel like this can't be overcome, or that things are just going to get worse. If you go into catastrophizing, that's the word, catastrophizing. It's like that cognitive bias of seeing the worst in every situation. That's the Tower card, right? It's like seeing the worst in any situation. That's a big red flag. Acknowledge this trauma, acknowledge this pain, acknowledge these experiences, but do not let them control you. Understand that death is not an end, it is transformation. And the souls that have come onto this planet at this time, and even in these different lineages here on Earth and these timelines of pain and suffering, have chosen to do so for a reason, for their development, for their learning, their benefit, and ultimately for their soul's evolution. Even if it's painful, the soul is infinite and immortal. So we always recover, but sometimes we just kind of need to put those pieces together. That's what I'm seeing. Okay, so that is what I have for you, group number 3. I hope this reading was helpful and useful in this process of doing this deep, powerful, pragmatic, soul level, world collective level healing. It's a big job, but somebody's got to do it. I'm sending you guys so much love and blessings. You're not alone. Thank you for being here. If you guys want to dive even deeper, and if you're not a member here on the channel, we do have memberships available where we have lots more additional readings, resources of information to help guide you along this process and path within the incarnation we're in together. We're here together, so let's support one another. And if you guys need help learning to tap into the unseen realms, I can teach you how to do that as well. I can help you to expand your psychic abilities, learn to read tarot and oracle, trust your intuition, see into past lives, Akashic read, energy heal. All of those things are my specialties, and if you guys want to learn how to do them, I have a course called Unlocking the Magic Within coming in February 2024. So if you guys want to sign up, the link is in the description box below. The opening date for sign up, I believe, is January 14th. So get in there while you can. It's a 6-month program. We're going to be really doing some big transformation in that course, and it will have a positive impact on the rest of your life. So if you're interested in that, sign up when it's available. And if you want to learn tarot, I also have Tarot 201 available. Links are below, and I will see you in the next reading. Love you guys. Bye.